Well, two wins in the league on the bounce as we defeated Morecambe 2-1 away from home in League Two. Hello, everyone. My name is Kieran. Welcome back to the channel. And yeah, it's going to be a match review of Morecambe 1, Newport 2. All right, we'll start off with lineups. Exactly the same lineup as we had at home to Stockport, where, of course, we beat them 2-1. I looked at it with a little bit of worry because I thought we played with such intensity and such a kind of character in the game on Saturday against Stockport, where I thought potentially players would have been tired, especially the wing backs of McLaughlin and Payne. They were running consistently, the entire game. So I thought potentially there might be a bit of rotation there, but evidently we didn't rotate. So it was interesting to see, but credit where credit's due to the entire team for being able to stay fit and take on a very good side in Morecambe. They were unbeaten at home up until when we came to play them. So, credit where credit's due to the team for being able to play these intense games against really good level opposition, in such short sequence and, with so much success. A returning Harry Charsley was on the bench as well, which is really welcome to see. And yeah, it was a really solid lineup. And we thought, if we could play how we did against Stockport, we might have success here, especially because Morecambe's new manager was interim, I believe, for the game they had previously where they lost 6-0 to Wrexham. So there was a lot of hope going into this. In terms of the play then, for the majority of the first half, you kind of noticed very similar to the way we played against Stockport. Overloaded the midfield, didn't allow Morecambe to really create too much play out the back. They had a moment after they went 1-0 up where they were playing out the back to some success. But, when you play a press that Newport do, or a press that we do rather, it's very difficult, especially because you're in League Two, of course, evidently, kind of worse quality of footballers, especially under pressure and all this stuff. So playing a press successfully and having the options of Will Evans, Palmer Holden, Bogle, all these options who want to win the ball back, it's really intimidating, I'd imagine, for, an opposition defender, a Morecambe defender, to have to deal with passing the ball around when they were playing so wide, but also not after, having to worry about all the attackers pressing them at the same time. So yeah, it came with the part that, we were able to not control the game. We had a lot less of the ball in the same way we did against Stockport, but the possession for the most part that Morecambe had was a lot emptier than you'd imagine, given how, successful they were on the ball. Of course, they did take the lead by Mellon, which you could argue was a defensive error. We didn't close them down. We gave them too much space, and giving a striker with that many goals in League Two that kind of space is never something you really want to do. But the nice thing about it was that, of course, we saw last season at points this season where we've went 1-0 down, our heads have dropped at the back, or we've lost faith. The thing about this game, and it might be due to the the history of Morecambe Newport because of playoffs a few years back and everything else in between, but we didn't let our heads drop after going 1-0 down. We really dug down deep and continued playing how we wanted to. It was a really professional performance, and of course, we got our goal by overloading the box. Bogle took his shot, it fell back to Will Evans, and yeah, we were able to go into the break 1-1. And it's credit to the fact that we were able to overload the box, and that was because of, arguably, you could argue that we were running this midfield five almost. So we had the options to have all these options in the box and then transition back to defence if things went wrong really efficiently and really quickly. And then in terms of the second half, you kind of noticed that we did the same thing, but we did it with a little bit more efficiency in the way that, we were able to control kind of where Morecambe were playing. They had a lot of the ball, but they couldn't do too much with it. And of course, it came when Seb Palmer Holden scored. You could argue that, it's a defensive error from Morecambe. There was a few slips in the box, and, that's credit to the icy pitch and the wet pitch and all this stuff. It was something that was mentioned a lot on the radio during the games. It's one of those things where, maybe if it was a dry condition, we wouldn't have scored that. But at the end of the day, if you can use your environment that you're playing on to an advantage, it's a good thing. And it's something that Seb Palmer Holden did. He was able to hit it when the keeper was diving the opposite way. So it was very nice to see, and it was nice to see him back on the score sheet at the end of the day. And then you talk realistically from 2-1 onwards, it was really different in the way that we played. We kind of dropped the wing backs of Payne and McLaughlin, kind of dropped them back a little bit more defensive, and we kind of allowed them to do what Walsall did to us, where they'd press us and we'd defend them really well. There was, of course, the worries that we were going to concede because we did against Walsall, where we defended so well for so long, but ended up conceding really late on. But you kind of felt something different in this game. The connections between the players, and this is probably credit to the fact that, of course, they've now been playing for a good few more months and they've been able to kind of gel better together. And the return of James Clark, I'm sure, was a good reason for why they were able to gel well together. And having Scott Bennett there, two players that are really experienced at Newport and know what it's like to play for the club at the end of the day, having them having them there is phenomenal in the way that you're probably able to gel the younger or more inexperienced Newport players, whether that be Lewis Payne. You had Matt Baker, who of course has played for the club, but not to the extent that Clark and Bennett has. It looks like we were really able to gel better at the back, and at the end of the day, we were able to soak up the pressure. There are a few scary moments here and there, but when you're overloading the box with Morecambe strikers and attackers and midfielders, and then you're overloading the box with Newport defenders, attackers and midfielders, at the end of the day, you're going to have some scary moments. Credit to Nick Townsend. There were a few incredible claims from him to kind of drain out the clock and all this stuff. So it was absolutely fantastic to see that. A fantastic 2-1 win, and yeah, I think it was a deserved one for the most part. Like I said, they had a lot of possession, but I don't think they did too much with it. Of course, they had the goal. They had a good few chances. They hit the bar towards the end of the first half, which was really interesting off of a corner. And yeah, realistically, other than that, they had a few kind of shots from outside the box and all this other stuff. But, for the most part, we were able to kind of control where they played and then, control when we won the ball back. We'd be able to make the most of it. So I think that's a lot of credit to, how we've been playing recently. We've allowed them to have the ball, yes, but at the end of the day, they haven't been able to do too much of it. We saw it against Stockport. And then when we won the ball back, we made the most of the possessions. Absolutely fantastic for me to watch, and I'm sure for Newport fans, the ones that travelled to watch. So, yeah, another victory in League Two. 2 on the bounce in terms of the relegation zone, 10 points clear, which is absolutely fantastic. Couldn't be happier with that. And we can look forward now to Barnet in the FA Cup second round, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, really looking forward to that game. And it's a nice little break from, league action, as they say. So, be interesting to see how that one goes. So, yeah, let me know what your thoughts were on everything in the game, whether it be just how we played, how even Morecambe played, or the officials, because, it's unfortunate that it's a thing that is kind of mentioned in a lot of League Two games or a lot of EFL games, but what can we realistically do about it? Other than that, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening. Please just leave a like, subscribe, support the channel in whatever way you see fit using the links in the description, and yeah, take care.